when we see a lot of clients for the first time, we're actually trying to go, hey, what's actually gone on, and trying to unpack where the disconnect is. So we see most debt resolution pieces as being trying to understand what's happened. Everything was working okay, and then something's fallen off a cliff. Do you see the same thing when you're unpacking the stuff with clients?
Well, I think as well, particularly with these smaller industries, you only really have a couple of people in the upper C-suite. So, I mean, you can't be across everything, unfortunately. And in terms of cash flow, some months might be great for these people, and they go, "Oh, I'm killing it, and I've got the P&L from the accountant, and it looks good." And then all of a sudden, you have a month where you're running an $80,000 ledger that hasn't been paid, and they go, "Oh," and it all just starts to come unstuck, and then they just don't know what to do. And I think where they start spinning the wheels is they keep giving rote, and these people just don't have money to pay. And then your cash flow is getting affected, but you still have to pay your bills. So I think for them, that's where it's getting to a point where they just haven't focused on it, and because they're running a business and they're doing everything else, and then they go, "Oh, I don't have money to pay for these bills," and then they go, "Oh, I'm sitting with a ledger that is 60, 90 plus days overdue."
And that's especially true when it comes to trade and construction, right? So I'm really good at what I do. How does this work, right? And so you and I talk a little bit about some of these construction matters that we counter and try and figure out what's going on. And what's interesting to me is a lot of the ways to deal with this could be preventative rather than curative. I'm interested in what your thoughts are around how we help people be preventative in getting to that point rather than when it actually happens. How do we identify points earlier, and what are paths to solution? Because we get really passionate, and as a business owner, I get passionate myself. I know you do too, right? So the giggle is, what do we do to help people? What can businesses do to help themselves
I
to
know,
prepare themselves for that outcome?
I know people would, like, if in the instance they've just got one bad debt, the client might not be ready to hear, "Oh, you need to, overhaul everything in your business and get these T's and C's rolled out and, spend, tens of thousands getting everything done." Because generally, again, people, I think, like a fast result, and just like, you go out and you order fast food, or you go on these crazy diets where, you shed 5 kilograms in a week or something. People like fast results. But doing the T's and C's, doing boring stuff like that, where you're only seeing results 6 to 12 months down the line when it's actually time to collect and you've got these things in force at the time, people aren't really too interested about that until they have 3, 4, 5 debtors where they can go, "Oh, okay, I've now issued this and I follow this process, and you know what, the debt's been paid." There's nothing that the other side can say. They've executed the terms and conditions and they know the process. They need to get comfortable with that first, and they do need to be ready for that. It's not about the lawyer jamming it down the client's throat. It's about having a holistic approach to the debt recovery and the improvement of the business. And again, I think it comes with the relationship you have with the client. So in the first instance, we've been acting for particular clients for very many years now. At first, they came to us with a small little debt recovery matter, and now we're doing everything from their shareholder agreements to their employment agreements.
At AGP, one of the things that we do really well is actually turn around and ask for clients for a whole heap of information up front. So the whole Assure piece of Assure Global Plus is about how do we collect enough information to be able to provide surety to clients around what information they provide, and that we can do something with it. So we're not doing anything blind. Our job is to deliver quality outcomes to clients by respecting what their process is and the complications they've got. And then how do we deliver that to somebody who can help prosecute that? So the advantage that we have when we're dealing with law firms like yourself, AGP's job is to turn around and say, "Hey, help us assemble the information for you so that we can get you best represented."
Yes.